I'm getting very tired now. Thank you, doggies. I think I just wiped dog poo on my face. Oh no, look at this. I bet you there's mechanics watching this, absolutely horrified. Vegega. It's a really nice height so that when we're actually using the bed, there's no bending over or anything like that.
That's because we're getting old, Ken. We can't bend over as much anymore.
Slobber chops. Slobber chops. Hello, it is Ken from OK Portugal, and we have another episode for you today. Now, it is freezing cold. It's about 2 degrees right now. Winter has finally kicked in. The skies are blue, the skies are clear, and the sun is shining. But it is still freezing. So I have a bunch of jobs that I need to do on the farm today. One of them is to cut the grass in the vineyards and also around the house. We've also had some really serious winds at the moment, and they've been blowing stuff all over the place. So it's a little bit messy out here. Our dogs have also been stealing wood from our wood pile, and it's scattered all over the lawn. So I have to pick all of this up before I even try and mow. Thank you, doggies, much appreciated. We've also been sent some cool stuff that we're going to be constructing in a bit, and we're going to be adding to our vegetable garden. And speaking of veggie gardens, we're going to finally resurrect it this year and get it all going again. So here's the carnage of all of the wind. Completely took out this compost bin. We've managed to find some of the pieces. You can see all of the sheeting lying all over the place. It was some seriously strong winds. I thought it was about 50 miles an hour. Gina said it went up to about 100 kilometers an hour. But yeah, as you can see, we have our hands full in here. Look at this. Look at all these plants that are grown up. But before I get stuck into all of that, it's time to take the dogs for a walk. They're full of beans at the moment, and yeah, we've got to take them for the little sniff around the farm. Come on, dogs! You can see our dam is actually it's actually gone down a little bit. The water levels, they came all the way up to this section over here, so this was all covered. So it's gone down by about maybe 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters. But we still have lots of water in here. Hopefully this is a sign that we're going to have lots of water on the farm this summer. So last week, Joaquin put up 2 strands of barbed wire on our front fence because we were a bit concerned about, you know, our dog was jumping up. We were concerned that he might get over and harass his sheep when he was coming past. Now both Gina and I were a little bit concerned about having barbed wire, you know, because obviously this stuff is quite sharp and we don't want to damage our dogs. But, you know, Joaquin installed the fence, so we didn't want to sound ungrateful. He's very knowledgeable, and he's always helped us on the farm and always done amazing jobs with everything he's done. You know, the last thing we wanted to do was cut this whole wire down and replace it with something else, which would be a real sort of, you know, insulting thing to do. Our initial thing was to put up some sheep fencing along here, but yeah, the wire's installed. Joaquin's adamant that it won't be a problem with the dogs, and it's been up for 1 week now, and we haven't had any issues. We've obviously introduced the dogs to the fence. We've let them come up and sniff it, and yeah, over the last week, the dogs have been here totally fine. They're not jumping up at the fence anymore, and we don't have any more problems with that. Now the dogs are walked, it's time for me to get stuck in. It's freezing cold. My hands are freezing cold, my feet are freezing cold, but I'm pretty sure that once I start working, I'm going to warm up nicely. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. So one of the joys of having farm dogs is they like to bring all sorts of stuff. They pick it up and they bring it right to the front door. It's usually logs and things like that, and sticks. And then they leave it here for us, a whole bunch of rubbish. Rubbish at the front door. I didn't want to bore you with all the mowing stuff. I've just been mowing for a couple of hours, stopped for lunch, and I've kind of finished. I have one little bit to go, but my mower's broken again. It's basically, so I need to clean this all up underneath and get inside there. There's a belt that basically runs the back wheels, and that's broken. And yeah, it's really not a lot of fun mowing a few acres with a mower when you have to push it yourself up slopes and hills and things like that. But it's looking pretty sweet. Look at that. Now this is probably the last mow that I'm going to do until spring. We had like a really warm winter, and so the grass was really growing. We had lots of rain, and as you can see, we've had lots of sun, so the grass was just going crazy. And then over here I've made a nice little sort of parking space, and around the back, and then around the other side of the house over here. But the big job is going to be this veggie patch. We set this up in our first year We've been here 3 years, and last year was the only year where we didn't actually do anything. What we found in the first 2 years is that the veggie patch was really big. That also, obviously, it takes a lot of time, but it also takes a lot of water. And last year we had a drought, and so I didn't really want to be watering this really big veggie patch, wasting water for vegetables that I could buy really cheaply in the shops. But with all the crazy stuff going on in the world right now, it's probably a good idea for us to get this veggie patch up and running again and start producing some of our salads and vegetables and things like that. But as you can see, we have our work cut out for us. It's about 1.5 hours till sunset, so I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to start this right now. I also have to fix the lawnmower and see if I can get those wheels working again. Alright, I can't actually turn this mower on its side because we've still got some fuel in the bottom there. If I turn this upside down, all that fuel is going to end up getting inside like the carburetor and leaking out, or if I turn it up. So I'm going to have to run this thing flat. I'm not going to bore you with that, but I'm just going to take the mower through the olive grove and make a nice little path. Hello, boyky cat. You come to see what's going on. You're probably going to freak out any second when I start spraying this mower. So we've got a bunch of grass that's basically got inside this black box and stopped the belt from spinning. Now this mower, I've had it for like 3 years, and imagine how many miles it's done, because we've got a big farm. We've got 3.5 hectares, and I probably mow about 1/4 of that. So yeah, let's hope I can fix it. If you've seen the amount of dog poos that I went over while I was mowing today, you know that it's pretty gross in here right now. So this belt cover has seen better days. It's obviously got lots of holes and cracks in it now, and all of the mud and dirt and everything just gets inside there. So I don't know how much longer this mower's got, how much longer this belt's going to be operational. Alright, so we have a little problem. I need to release this bolt in order to take off this cover, and this is completely threaded. It's just spinning around in a circle and it's not undoing. So I'm going to have to try and see if I can put this belt back on through this little gap, and I need to try and see if I can wash the rest of this muck out from in there. I can see a bit better what's going on. This is the white wheel where the belt needs to go. Hopefully I can get enough of my hand in there to get it back on. Awesome, I did it. Ah no, I think I just wiped dog poo on my face. So yeah, we've got the belt back on. Obviously by the state of this cover you can see that a lot more stuff's going to end up flying in there. I can't actually take it off because this is threaded, and the general state of this mower is pretty bad. So I think once this belt gives up completely and I don't have any powered wheels, I think it's time to retire this and get another mower. 3 years and God knows how many miles is pretty good innings for a mower like this, so I'm going to keep it going as long as I can, and who knows, maybe we can break a world record. Okay, I may have spoken too soon. I've just noticed that there's oil dripping out of it. I had it upside down. I thought the only problem was to worry about fuel spilling. I didn't realize that oil was going to come through the air filter and the carburetor. So let's see the damage. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh no, look at this. Oh geez, okay. That's not good. Oh, what a mess. Okay. That is not good at all. That's going to take some cleaning up. So, yeah. That is the air filter. And that is just full of oil. Not good. Hopefully tipping it on its side like this is going to try and put some of this oil back inside from the carburetor. I don't know, I'm not a mechanic or anything like that. I wasn't thinking when I had this thing upside down. But yeah, what I'm going to do, mop up the oil, open this up, try and see if I can take most of it out, and then clean the filters and try and see if it'll start back up again. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing with this, but we're just going to give it a go. I'm guessing it just lifts off. It does. And then there's a tube that attaches to there. bet you there's mechanics watching this absolutely horrified at what I'm doing here. I'm guessing you're not supposed to get any dirt or anything in there, but there's oil in there. So hopefully there isn't that much. I can't really see any more in there. Hopefully I can clean the filters, start it up, and it'll burn out in smoke. There we go. There we go. Perfection. Alright, now to clean these filters off. Jeez, how on earth do you get oil out of foam and dry it? So I think for now I'm going to wash these filters. They're going to need a little bit of time to dry, and then we'll come back to it, and hopefully the mower will start. Oh, that does not sound good. Okay, I think the problem was I didn't tighten up the blade properly. Is it fuel? It might be fuel, you know. No, there's still a bit of fuel in there. Just a tiny bit. Oh man. There's obviously oil in the cylinders, and it's having a hard time to, you know, compress the fuel and ignite. Oh, there we go. Alright, I'm going to let that burn off the oil for a little bit, and I think I've saved the life of the lawnmower for hopefully another year. It's another glorious yet cold day, and we're just about to get started. Gina's already got started actually. She's in the lady garden. Gina, what's happening in the lady garden today?
Well, I'm trying to break up the roots for the mint. The mint's lovely, but it's taking over. So I'm going to break up the roots here, dig it over, and then put some new topsoil down.
So Gina's lady garden has a landing strip that we planted about 2 months ago. So on the left we have Gina's lady garden, on the right we have the landing strip. And the reason why we planted grass there was because right in front of our front door over here, like the dogs and us would come out and we'd walk over this section. So it was just, there was nothing growing on it. So about 2 months ago, I believe it was at the end of November, we planted this grass seed. We came out here, first of all we rotavated it, we flattened it all out, and then we planted the grass seed. And as you can see, it's looking really good. We put up all this fencing around it so that the dogs couldn't run through and destroy the grass while it was growing. But now it's time to remove the posts and to give this its very first mow. These some cable ties. And that's pretty much holding this little gate together, making sure that the doggies had no access. I'll be interested to see how well this grass does in the summertime, because it gets really dry here. It's been ages since I used this thing. And there we go, a successful lawnmower start. Whew. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on here. Is there fuel in the... I think there's still a little bit of air in there actually.
How do you know there's air in there?
There's a little rubber valve that you've got to press. It's like a little pump. It pumps fuel through the two hoses and through the engine. I don't know if you'll see it, but it's in here at the bottom. You press it with your finger, and that basically puts fuel inside the fuel line. That's not a good start. Oh, there we go. It didn't have the choke on. It's sounding a bit better. Perfect.
Ta-da! Real grass! Well, it looks like real grass. Let's hope it stays this way and these little rascals don't dig blinking great big holes in it. I'm really excited that these have been sent to us and I can't wait to build them. But before we do any of that, we've got a really big job to do. Well, actually, Ken's got a really big job to do, and that's rotivate that.
Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. I think this thing's in gear or something. Oh, there we go. I haven't used this thing in a while, and I always forget how it starts because it's kind of complicated. I know there's an on-off switch, so I think that's on. And then I'm pretty sure there's fuel in here. Yeah, there is. And now I can't get the lid closed. Here we go. And then it's a case of turning this switch on, and I think the choke, open up the choke, and then it should just be a case of making sure it's in neutral, and then it should be a case of, yeah, starting.
Like I need to get out of the way because it's being sat right in front of it.
Yeah, I imagine it starts to pull forward. Yeah. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. So,
And a lot of pulling off today too.
yeah. Okay, oh,
Sounds like there's another switch.
I forgot something, yes. There is a little switch here, and you got to let a little bit of fuel drain through. That's what I forgot. So there we go. There was a little drops of fuel. I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to put fuel in the ground. Now we should have fuel in the carburetor. This is where I got it wrong. I think you are supposed to be in gear. Okay, this is where I always get it wrong because I always think, oh, you got to be in neutral, otherwise it's going to climb. Okay, let's hope. I mean, it does look like it wants to go forward. Let's turn it this way just in case. Whew. Oh wait, that's the choker's on this side. Is the choke on this side? I'm getting very tired now. Only other thing I can suggest is the spark plugs. I mean, it's hardly used. All of these wires are good. I mean, there's not even like the slightest bit of ignition or anything. Right, I'm not having much joy with this thing. There is some fuel in here, and I can see when I open up the fuel line that fuel's dropping through. But I have a feeling that maybe there's not enough fuel. There's like a little bit of air coming in because it's at this angle. So I'm going to put some more fuel in. Hope for the best. This thing, when it's going, it doesn't skip a beat. It's just getting it going has always been a big drama for me. So I'm a little bit, I don't even know what the word is, flummoxed. Is that even a word? And I'm not sure what's going on here, and it's actually quite tiring. I don't know about how many hundreds of times I've pulled that lever now. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm not even going to ask why. That started with the choke in the closed position. Okay. Okay, cool. And you see, folks, this is why you should never give up. Right, I'm going to let that warm up for a little bit, and I'm going to fetch the implements. These are the teeth that basically churn up the soil. So let's get these ready to go. I think I'll just put them straight in here. I'm already tired from just trying to start the damn rotavator. Now, I'm not a mechanic or anything like that. I have a very basic understanding of engines, but I'm wondering if it's because it was actually in gear. It was in first gear, and I pulled it out backwards. And I wonder if the cylinders were working in reverse. So instead of pulling fuel through, it was like pulling air through or something like that. And that's why maybe when I try to start it now, it wasn't starting. I'm sure like mechanics at home will know what I'm talking about if that is the case. Or I just got super unlucky and you just have to pull the cord like 500 times. So we've got all sorts of mess and stuff going on here. But we have a cup of tea. Oh, thank you.
It's an important bit of the day. And
biscuits. Cool. Whew. Okay, so I've got a little bit ahead of myself because if I just start rotavating this, what's going to end up happening is all of this vegetation over here is going to get caught up inside the blades. It's going to be a big mess. So what I actually have to do is get the strimmer in here first, cut all of this into tiny pieces, and then it can all be churned into the ground to compost. Job done. We call those things weed eaters in South Africa. The weeds have been eaten. So I've kind of chopped them down. They're all lying here in a big pile, but I think I want to mulch them up a bit better, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be churning them into the soil to act as like a green manure. And so it's back to my trusty Stanley lawnmower. Now, this is not a product placement or a sponsored product or anything like that. This is a mower that we bought with our own money. We've had it for 3 years and it's done a really good job. This is another tool that we bought with our own money, and I think it was about 500 euros, and it's also done a really good job. It's just really difficult to start. Every single time there seems to be some kind of drama, but when you get it going, it goes really well. And once the engine's warm, it goes really well. Oh no, the engine's cooled down again. Anyway, hopefully we'll get it started again. So we're all mulched, we're all ready to go, and it's actually looking like a really nice little lawn out here, which has got me thinking, maybe I don't rotivate. So for those of you that don't know, this is a rotavator, and what we would be doing is we'd be attaching these sort of teeth to it. And what that would do is it would basically churn up the soil, it would break down all of the roots, and it would take all of the stuff that we've just cut, and it would basically put that and bury it into the soil so that it can compost. And what we would end up is basically like a tilled, like a big tilled vegetable garden. So it's got us thinking that maybe what we should be doing is first building our vegetable planters, figuring out where those go, because it's quite nice having like a little green sort of grassy strip, and then figuring out which areas we should rotivate, if any. Maybe we should just keep it all as lawn. And
my thinking behind it is we keep this as like a market garden type with your salad stuff, so tomatoes, lettuces, whatever. The raised beds go here so that you can have extra stuff, salady, vegetable type things. We haven't decided yet. And then this is a walkway into like the vegetable patch. The reason why we're undecided whether all of this is going to be a vegetable patch is that's where we went wrong last time. It was just too big to maintain. So what do you think? Do you think we need to seed it, put wildflowers in there, just let it be grass? What do you reckon?
But first things first, we have to have lunch because we do, otherwise we'll fall over.
Yeah.
And I'm actually quite glad that we're not going to be doing the rotavating right now, because it's really tough holding on to that little mini tractor. So
and it looks really pretty. It looks like grass.
It does, yeah. Yeah. So let's have something to eat, and then we'll reset.
Plan of action after lunch.
Yeah. So now comes the cool part of the video. I've been waiting to do this. Now this is I'm not sure if you'd call this a product placement. This is just a product that we've been given, so we haven't bought this. They've given it to us. We looked on their website and it looks really cool. And yeah, basically I'm going to put a pinned comment. So on YouTube, the very top pinned comment is going to be a link where you can basically get these. They are available in America. They're also available in Europe. If you buy them from America and you're in Europe, you'll have to pay import tax. But if you buy them from Europe, so I think they have a warehouse in Germany, then you don't pay any import tax. They've got really good prices, and it's a really cool product. I'm not sure what the name is. I think it's Vegega. It's probably Vegega for vegetables or something like that. Vegega. Couldn't be that. I mean, I know we've got the landing strip and we have the lady garden. I think it's Vegega, probably. Okay. Enough of that. Let's open it up. It's the problem with when I wear this mic, it's right by my mouth and right by my nose. So as I'm down here, all you can hear me is going like... It's not the best mic placement right now when you're doing this kind of stuff. So excuse all the panting.
Can you give me a little peek?
Yeah.
Wow.
So these are nice galvanized steel pieces, so they won't rust. It feels like really good quality so far.
Didn't they have different colours on the website?
Yeah.
Isn't there like a green, a white,
Yeah.
a beigey colour?
Yeah, we went for a white because I think it's going to be cooler, especially if it gets direct sun and you've got like, you know, the Portuguese summer and you've got the boiling hot weather. So we went for white, but the other colours actually look really nice. I think there was like...
The beige?
No, we went for white. It's a white colour. Cut it, tear it, slice it, dice it. The idea is that we're going to have raised beds this year, and then they're going to be easier to maintain because they're going to be higher off of the ground. So I'm guessing these are the end pieces. This is kind of what the product looks like. And I'm guessing the round ones are the corners. So these are the corners, and we've got 4 of them. And look how high up it is.
Well,
So,
we went for the tallest ones, didn't we?
yeah, so 30 inches high. So it's about 1 meter high. And it's a really nice height so that when we're actually using the bed, there's no bending over or anything like that.
That's because we're getting old, Ken. We can't bend over as much anymore. I'm speaking for myself.
I was going to say there's a terrible joke in there and I'm not going to go there. But yeah, okay. Let me get those on the side. I was actually a bit worried because I saw this height and I thought, didn't we go for the tall ones? But obviously, you've got to clip them on together, yeah.
It's got more accessories as well. Oh, what's this? Oh, so it's got some gloves.
Some little white gloves.
Yeah, some piping for around the top, I think, because obviously it's going to be sharp. Poles, I don't know what they are. And then obviously all the screws and bolts and things. So
I wonder if it's got some tools in there as well. Probably does.
I don't know. Can't see. Oh yeah, no, I can. I can see like a.
Oh, cool. It's got like a little socket.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, it's starting to rain. You can see there's some rain back on the mountain over there. Hopefully it's not going to interfere with us too much, but I'm going to have to move this camera in because it's getting rained on. And it's in the middle of a time lapse. Ta-da! It is finished. It actually looks really nice. Look at the finish on that. Actually, I say it's finished, but we still need to put this piping along the top. And I think it's going to look very handsome. But we've got bracing poles inside. It's going to stop the outsides from bowing out under all the weight. And it looks really good. And it looks very solid. So Jean is putting on the edging, piping. Is it piping or edging?
Edging piping.
Edging piping, okay. The rain seems to have stopped and the wind seems to have died down as well. It's looking lovely out here. Look at this. Okay, it is cloudy, it is a bit grey and cloudy, but it's still paradise. So Gina's nearly done with the piping and the wind stopped. Let's open this all up. Yeah, awesome. Cool, so the idea is we're going to have raised beds along this side here, and we just wanted to build them first so we know exactly what they look like and how we're going to position them. How's that, Gina? Does it feel solid?
Yeah, it's nice fitting this on. Just when you get to the where it's double thickness, it's just a bit tighter to put on.
Okay, but it's not impossible.
No.
Does it feel like it'll come off, or does it feel like it'll last a while?
No, it feels solid.
Excellent.
It was lovely.
Cool. This is going to be a video about how Gina lost her finger. And this is the other one that we've got. So it's a round circle. It's 17 inches high by 48 inches wide. So 4 foot wide by almost 2 foot high, or 1.5 foot, 2 foot. It's in a circle. The reason why we've got this is because we've got this avo tree. Now this avo tree has been living in this pot now for about 2 years, and we really want to plant it in the ground. And the problem that we have is avo trees don't like clay. Now there is clay beneath the soil. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant it inside this planter so that it's going to have, you know, almost 2 foot of its taproot going into this regular soil, and then only a little bit of its taproot will go into the clay. And hopefully it'll be a much happier plant for it. And here we have it with the edging, piping, or whatever you want to call it. It looks very good. Really, really nice. Okay, so now we have to plan where we're going to put these, how they're going to sit. What would be awesome is if we had like 4 or 6 of the same shape, and then you could make like a nice sort of geometric pattern with that. I mean, I think if we put them in line with this greenhouse here, then it keeps watering quite simple. We can run a line across here to water these and straight into the greenhouse. And then I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do with this one over here, whether it goes here or another place, but we're going to figure that out. Okay, it's been a pretty long day.
Yes.
We're a little bit cold and stuff, and well, we've built these, but we don't really know where to put them yet, because the one thing you've got to remember is once you fill these things up, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be in that position forever. And one of them is going to be holding an avo tree, and that avo tree is hopefully going to grow for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years and grow into a huge tree. So yeah, we've got to be, I think we need to sleep on it.
We've moved them around quite a lot already.
Yeah, we've literally moved them around every single conceivable place in this veggie patch.
Just right in the middle. Just plonk them right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm just putting them over here, and yeah, I think we're going to sleep on it. The most important thing is water comes from this side, and we're going to have a watering system going along here. So obviously if we start putting stuff all the way on this far end, it's going to make it a lot more difficult to water in summertime. And in summertime, it's going to hit temperatures of like 40 degrees. So yeah, we're going to sleep on it. But they're lovely bits of kit. I mean, the finish is so good. If you look on the website and you look at all the pictures and all the different colors and stuff, you can see, you know, they look as good in real life as they do in the photographs on the website. We've slept on it. I still have no idea where we're going to be putting these things, but that's a job for next week. Right now, I need to finish this video because it's going up on Patreon. It goes up on Patreon at least one day before release. So if you want to join us on patreon.com/OKPortugal, you can see our videos before anyone else, and you can also help support our channel. So I just want to say a big thank you and shout out to Vegega, or whatever it's called. Sorry about it, I really don't know the name, I can only read it. And thank you, these products are absolutely awesome and we do love them. We're going to be planting them up for next week's episode, so do tune in next week to see these planted up, and also give us some tips on how we're going to fill these things, because they're absolutely enormous and they're going to cost a lot of money in compost. So if you can give us some tips, drop them in the comments below. Let us know how you would fill these things up. I'm thinking hugel culture, which is basically putting some wood in the bottom, then a little bit of compost, and then some topsoil. But let us know if you guys have any other ideas for what we can do. And we'll see you next week, same time, for another episode of this. Check it out. Ciao. He's a good boy. Eddie, you're such a good boy. You're such a big boy. A big boy and a good boy. Yes, the best. Slobber chops. Slobber chops.